actually lately.
Oh,
Because I've been waiting for Dune, I almost said Dune, the Dark Ages, Dune,
doo doo.
Dune Awakening to come out, and guess what I found out about that game?
What's that?
It's only going to be out for Xbox, or not Xbox. It's only going to be out for Steam, I think, for like the next year.
For the next year, you said?
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I
That's
spoke to somebody within their team,
yeah.
and they were like, "Yeah, because I seen it was on Xbox, but like to purchase it was unavailable." And I was like,
Hmm.
"That's weird." And I haven't really seen any kind of marketing for PlayStation from it. So I was just like, "What is going on here?" Because I knew in the trailer it said it was coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Series consoles, and PC. But then I checked and it said, yeah, it's only coming to Steam for initial launch and then coming later to um to consoles, and that has me kind of disappointed because I had a couple. I had like I was gonna buy like 2 or 3 copies of that game because Mike wanted the game, which I
Uh
could still
huh.
get it for Mike because he's a Steam guy. But
Sure.
I wanted the game. Mike wanted the game. I know my wife would want to play the game. I mean, she could play off of my purchase, but I was gonna purchase the game as well for my father-in-law because he really enjoys games like that. And he plays on
Yeah.
Xbox. He doesn't have a computer anymore. He actually went backwards. And he's
Hmm.
more of a and he's actually a PC guy that just doesn't he just honestly he doesn't have a whole lot of care for too many things, and
Yeah.
he has an Xbox now, and all he really plays is like Ark and a couple other games. He's kind of one of those like I got my game, I'm good. Like he'll buy a whole ass console and be like, I got my game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get that.
Right, like people get it for Call of Duty or Apex or something like that,
Yep.
right? Uh, And so, but yeah, he did it for Ark because he really liked playing with us, right, and time and whatnot. And I can tell you, he's probably not going to get a whole ass PC for
Shit.
Dune. I don't think so.
I wouldn't blame him. I mean,
Yeah.
damn.
He's very patient. He'll wait for it to come to console, and then I'll buy it for him there, and he can play it. Um, but yeah, that was disappointing to me. But you asked what I've been playing lately, and I told you I've been emulating a lot.
Yeah.
As of the last like 2 nights, I've been playing like a freaking maniac. Need for Speed Underground 1.
Oh, nice.
I got the PS2 emulator working on my Steam Deck. I also got the PS1 emulator working on my Steam Deck, and I've been emulating. I've been playing a little bit of like college football on my Xbox and, you know, basketball with you and Bill and whatnot, but I'm just like kind of blown away by how much I've been using my Steam Deck lately because I have
Yeah.
those X Real glasses as well, those AR glasses. So I could just plug them right into the top, and I'm like just sitting in a chair, normal, not having to cock my neck down to look down at my Steam Deck. I'm just right there playing, and who would have thought I'd be using AR glasses on a Steam Deck to play 2003 fucking Need for
Yeah.
Speed Underground. Like I said on Twitter, I was like, if I would have told myself this as a kid, I don't think I would. I think I would have been speechless.
Yeah. Technology is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Dude, it's so cool. It is like I was playing that. I was playing some PS1 games on there. I'm excited, man. Just for like, I haven't even got too many games yet because I want to be kind of careful. I mostly want to get games that I kind of already own, so I can't like get in trouble for stupid shit, you know.
I get that. I
But
get that.
um, but yeah, it's just nice because I already have the original system and I can play it on the original system if I want to. But like the thing is a lot of times I want to kind of just play them at my own leisure and on the go, and it's nice to have that. That way, once I set up my game systems at the new place that I get to, I could just leave those there and I could, go all over the place. And half of these games, I shouldn't say half of these games. A lot of games do like passwords and stuff like that to like get back to a certain part of the level that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like I could like a lot of PlayStation 1 games do that for sure. Like PS2 was very much in use of memory card, but there's a lot of PS1 like older ones where you can like put in a password, and same with like Sega games and Nintendo games where you could just keep going from where you left off. All I'd have to do is like take a screenshot of the password and then I could just toss it into my Steam Deck or toss it into the console and it'll work.
That's interesting. I did not know that. So, like, I mean, it's not cloud saves, but it's like you have your progress wherever. Then.
Not exactly. I mean, kind of. Like I said, the games have to have like a password or a passcode or a passphrase, right? Where it says, like a 13 digit number or mixture of letters and numbers. And it's just like old games like that used to do that, right? You put in the
Mm-hmm.
password and then it's like, oh, you're at this part of the game with this much money, and just lands you right
Oh,
there.
so like the password's like tied to a specific part in the game with a specific amount of whatever, you just said money, like currency, whatever the hell the thing might be in that game. Like you enter the password and it's tied to a very specific thing, right?
Right. It's tied to a specific thing in the game that it can like register that you've done this and you have this much money or whatever. And it doesn't like it's nothing like going through a network or anything. It's just that's
Yeah, yeah.
embedded into the game. So like I could literally go to any cartridge anywhere that that game is on and just type in that passphrase or whatever and then just start off from right then and there.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty sick. Uh Rachie says I had a deja vu moment. Matt Ham and Matt streaming 2 times the same day. I said it, man. This is gonna be the show we did earlier in reverse. Roles switched. So get ready for it. But yeah, anything else you've been playing? Or is that just you've been going? I know you were playing the hell out of Underground last night because I heard you talking about it while we were in Discord. So you've been going
I
hard on
wasn't
that pretty
even
much.
on Discord last night. That was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago. Oh, that's right. Last night was weird because I joined Discord and it was Mike and Cozy, and then Mike said he had to get
Fun.
off, and then Cozy. I was like, sure, I guess I'll stay and talk to Cozy for a little bit. And Cozy fell asleep in like 10 minutes, like she was already snoring. So I was like, okay, well then I'm out. But that's just Cozy. That's just Cozy.
Yep,
All right,
every night
shit's guaranteed to happen every night. But
you gotta have the volume ready to shut her down.
well,
She'll get to breathing.
thankfully nobody else was in the call, so I just dipped. I just left her. I said good night. She made some noise like she maybe heard me, and then she just started snoring again. I was like, "Yep, I'm out. Later." But yeah, I mean, as for myself, what I've been playing, I mentioned a little bit of it on your show earlier. I was playing Stalker. Uh, Not Stalker 2 yet, although the plan is to go through the Stalker games and then get to Stalker 2. But I've been playing Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, um, which
Yeah, the
recently
old
got
one.
its. Yeah. The
Yeah,
first
supposedly it's
Stalker game.
beautiful.
It is. It looks great. Like it already looked pretty good. I mean, given the fact that it's, how old is it? That came out in '07. What was '07? 18 years ago. It's an 18-year-old game at this point. It's a really good looking game for 18 years ago. Then you add the fact that they went in and they redid the lighting and everything. They added some things like screen space reflections and stuff on the water that look really nice. Um, I could just be me, like placebo of playing the game. I think the skyboxes look better. I don't know, but it's a good looking game regardless. And I've been playing that. I want to go through Shadow Chernobyl. I think the second one, I think in order, it's Shadow Chernobyl, Clear Sky, Call of Pripyat, and then obviously Stalker 2. Um, but I'm gonna have to work my way through that. I'm still like, there's still so much stuff I'm playing, like Oblivion. I made the mistake of booting up Starfield a week ago, and now I'm playing Starfield again. And then on top of that, I gotta play Clair Obscur. The good news though is that there's not really anything massive, like huge. There's games coming out in the next couple months. Like I think next month is what, Mind's Eye. Um, but there's not huge, massive games that I absolutely need to play day one that are coming out in like the next month or two. So I've got the next month or two to kind of pick what I'm going to be doing and kind of stick to it. Um, but yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I need to play. But we'll see what happens. I did beat Doom the Dark Ages. I mentioned that on Sunday. That is my game of the year. Again, I will mention that. Uh Rachie says Game Pass is drowning me. That's a fact, and they just keep adding stuff to it. It's insane. Um, I was telling Mike and Twan, because Twan started playing Doom: The Dark Ages, that there was a point, like for I don't know, 75% of the game in Doom: The Dark Ages, I'm like, it was already my game of the year, just based on the gameplay. It was already my game of the year, and the story was just kind of there. Like it was fine. Like it was solid. It wasn't great. It definitely wasn't bad, but it was just kind of there. And then there's a point about 75% of the way through that the story just fucking shoots through the roof. And it's so good, and the gameplay obviously just keeps getting better the more weapons and stuff you get. So it just kept getting better and better and better. And by the end, um I posted on Blue Sky that I had a new list of my top 5 games of the generation. It went Alan Wake 2, Starfield, Elden Ring, uh, Doom the Dark Ages, and then Cyberpunk. So Doom the Dark Ages cracked my top 5 for the generation and is just in general one of my favorite FPS games ever made. So uh, high praise from me. Rachie says Metaphor incoming. That's a fact. Metaphor is coming to Game Pass. What is that, the 29th, I think they said? So
Yeah, it's coming this month. It's crazy.
it's insane.
Like
They
next
they
week.
There's that, and then I wondered. I mean, I guess this is kind of a random question, but not really because we're talking about Game Pass anyway. Do you think they announce anything for Game Pass at the Xbox showcase? Do you think like whether it's at the showcase itself or just around the showcase? Do you think
Do they
they
announce
have
what?
like have a do you think they have a surprise drop for Game Pass? Not like a game from them per se, but like a surprise batch of games that will drop in Game Pass around the showcase.
Dude, I hope not. I can't take no more of this shit, man.
You said
Like
I'm tired of it.
I'm tired, Bob. I'm tired.
Oh man, I get that
Well,
though.
fuck. Like there's a game I'm looking forward to that's not in Game Pass, and I know if I'm gonna feel compelled to play.
Yeah,
There's gonna be some games I feel I'm I'm like partially happy that the games I'm interested that are coming to Game Pass this month are already games that I bought and beat.
Oh yeah, like Metaphor,
I'm
and
just
you
like,
played a bunch of
God, thank
Division.
goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I still need to beat Metaphor, but like I said on your show, I think if there's a game in that genre I'm beating first, it's probably going to be Clair Obscur, almost certainly, because that game fucking just nails the gameplay. But yeah, I mean that's what I've been playing. I think we can get into some actual topics here because there are things to talk about. I think we'll hit it off with Oblivion Remastered being April's best-selling U.S. game. Again for April, Forza Horizon 5 is second on that, and that is in large part due to its PS5 release. And I saw the list, and I can't. Okay, here we go. Here's the list. So, number one is Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Number two is Forza Horizon 5. Three, MLB The Show 25. Four, Minecraft. Five, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Six, Indiana Jones. Seven, Call of Duty. So you got one, two, three, four. Where's the other one? Oh, okay. So yeah, Doom's not going to be there yet because this is just April. So you got one, two, three, four games in the top 10 being Microsoft products. So that's pretty massive, and that's kind of what the thumbnail is hinting at. I titled the thumbnail like "Hitting Their Stride," and I think it kind of goes without saying Xbox is hitting their stride. Whether people like it, you know, people argue about the exclusivity or lack thereof, whether you like it or not. Seems they're really crushing it at the moment. And I want to get your thoughts. I mean, are you surprised? I think it's a dumb question to ask. Are you surprised to see Microsoft's success as a publisher? I guess you could say really rapidly, because like it wasn't too long ago. Like 2022 was a very historically bad year for Xbox, and to fast forward 3 years later to we're in a spot where they're like number one publisher in the industry. It's kind of crazy. So what are your thoughts on that?
Mm, the best way I could put it is something had to give, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they already did plenty to kind of, I mean, they kind of did 52 card pickup with the fans of Xbox. Um, they have, kind of let us know that consoles are not the main source, it's just a source.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, so you do all that. What are you doing good? And they're like, well, we have a lot of games for you. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, well, that's kind of the point that I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's just so yeah. My thought process on that is just like something had to be good out of the situation, and it happened to be the main part, the reasons that you buy this stuff,
Yeah.
the game.
100%. I mean, I like it doesn't after getting ABK. I mean, the fact that they're at where they're at right now doesn't surprise me. I mean, obviously the whole like strategy. I think we've all been surprised by the strategy, but like the fact that they're crushing it the way they're crushing it, it's not that big of a surprise to me. Because I mean, when you get Call of Duty, you're gonna get Call of Duty every year from now on. You're gonna be releasing like a AAA game every quarter, likely for the next. I mean, however long you decide to keep going, you know, you're locked into that. So the fact that they're crushing it, it's cool to see. It kind of for a lot of people, even for myself for a while there, it kind of stings that they're doing it the way that they're doing it. But at the end of the day, I've kind of just been like, dude, if I'm gonna get the games I'm getting, like Oblivion remaster, Doom: The Dark Ages. Later this year we're talking about Outer Worlds 2. We got Avowed earlier this year. Like if I'm getting all that shit, I'm happy. I'm happy, and as far as I'm concerned, for that reason alone, Xbox is crushing it because I've got more things to
Yeah.
play on Xbox than I've ever had to play.
Yeah, if you think of their main issue going into this generation, the stigma and I mean flat out flat out um like mantra kind of was Xbox has no games.
Yes.
That was the thing. I remember because well, obviously a lot of us remember that, but I remember particularly like me being happy that my console could do this, me and be being happy that my console could do that, being able to do this and remote play and all these other cool features and stuff like that. And you'd always tell people about how cool the features are, and everyone's like, Xbox doesn't matter; those features are worthless. You need games over there. Who cares about features? You need games. And now that they got a crap ton of games, it's like, how about the console? And I kind of get it,
Yeah.
right? It's just like you should be able to do both at the same time, right? Like I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, well, they're if their focus is to be everywhere, then I kind of understand why one thing isn't the end all be all, even though that's where we all kind of started with Xbox, was the console being the end all be all.
Yeah.
But it's just clearly not now. They're trying to expand, make more money. They're trying to have their thing be accessible everywhere. And if you're within the ecosystem that is Xbox, there is as much as people like to say there's no reason to have an Xbox or whatnot. If you're in the Xbox ecosystem and you're buying games from them, uh, um, I'm expecting, and there currently is data that shows that you get a pretty good deal when eh, especially when you buy a game and you have the ability to play it in multiple different places. And you know,
Yes.
your saves go with you from one place to another. I can turn on my Xbox 360 and play a save on there, and then turn on my Xbox One, play the exact same save, and then turn on my my Series X and play the exact same save. And if it just so happens to be compatible with PC, the exact same save. And
Yep.
to me, that's that's like three. I'd say like 3 point whatever you want to give PC, right? Because that's not really a generation. That's kind of just there.
Yeah.
Um, but that's 3 generations and PC of just bouncing around. And the way that they're talking as of recently with this whole like Steam and backwards compatibility and getting things more in like a structured line instead of segmented and everything, it will only further increase the value of the thing that everybody's like, why would you do that? Well, it's kind of obvious. If I'm saving a ton of money and all of my remembrance is in one spot instead of it being segmented, then I think it's just an obvious choice. I mean, something as
Mm-hmm.
simple as playing Horizon Forbidden West on I'm not sure if they've changed it now, but like I played it on my PS5 and then I tried to play it on the cloud and it tried to get me to start the whole game all over again. And that was fucking
Oof.
depressing
Yeah, it's not good.
because I'm not starting that game over again. I just wanted to hop in because I was just like, let me hop on the bird and fly it and see if it was really that bad. Let me, run around and like, beat up some stuff, right? Let me hop in
Yeah.
my save real quick. And the cloud's like, have you played this game before? I don't see any data here. And I'm like, yeah, I beat this.
Yep.
I don't
Check
want to do
my
it again.
trophies. You dumbass. That did I whenever I see that in a game, I panic. Like it happens sometimes on Xbox where like I'll be like talking to you guys in Discord. I'm playing on the computer, and then I go to my room and I want to play on Xbox. And like sometimes I guess I'm just a little bit too quick booting it up on Xbox, and it's like syncing, trying to sync your save, syncing fail, whatever it says, like couldn't sync your save, try again or something. And
Yeah,
like
panic
I'll fucking
moment.
panic when I see that. I'll just shut my whole. I'll fucking unplug my Xbox if I have to, dude. Because like I had it one time. I forget what game specifically it was. Where like it might have been Starfield. Right when I first started playing Starfield, like right when it came out, where it couldn't sync my save. I guess I was just too quick going from PC to console or whatever, or console to console, and I was just hitting the A button and accidentally hit um, cancel or something like that, and I lost like an hour of save. But like on PlayStation, dude, it's just like to boot up Horizon Forbidden West after having beat it, and then have it tell you, "Yo,
It
did
was
you?"
because it's the PS4 version.
Oh, that's so dumb.
You,
That's so
you
dumb.
see what I'm saying? It's just like I
Yeah,
can play generation of generations, and if I have access to it via a cloud, I'm just playing off of my last save. It's not, I don't have to make sure I have the Xbox One version or the Series X version or the 360 version, right? Like, but for PlayStation, it's like, oh God, like if I beat the game on PS5, there's no promise that it's has any kind of like smart delivery added to it. So like if I have to end up playing the lesser version that is like the PS4 version or something like that, then I'm screwed.
yeah, that stinks. I didn't even consider that, to be honest. That's really
And then
disappointing.
how would I even transfer it over? Even if I did, like I'd have to go buy a
Yeah.
PS4.
That's so inconvenient, man. Oh, that's a mess. Raichi says from 2016 to 2022 it was true. I'm assuming he's talking about the Xbox has no games thing. Yeah,
Oh,
you could,
100%. Yeah.
there's definitely people, and I'd be one of them who agrees with that sentiment. From 2016 to 2022, Gears 5 was cool. I mean, obviously Halo at the end of
Half a
2021.
generation.
What's that?
So that's half a generation, man.
Exactly, dude. That's yeah. That's I mean, shit. That might be a full generation. This generation. Uh, but yeah, man, it was rough, and to go from that to where we are today. Obviously, I think people don't love the trade off that has happened, but the undeniable thing is that if you get online and see anybody say Xbox has no games, it's an undeniable fact that that person is, I'll just say, a fucking idiot. So like that's something that can't really be debated anymore. And speaking to that exact thing, I just watched a video before we joined Discord. From this guy. I might show it to you after we end the show, but this guy, I'm gonna look up his name real quick and make sure I get that. Um, so I can shout him out. This guy Grit. His name is just Grit on YouTube. He has a video called "The PS5 Generation Never Happened," and this guy, watching his video, I've never seen his content before, but watching his video is obviously a PlayStation fan, like a very big PlayStation fan, where he's talking about the fact that like, yeah, we started the generation with like pretty cool games like Miles Morales. You had Ratchet and Clank. We eventually got Spider-Man 2, and that was really fun and all, but it feels like there's just been a huge gap of nothing. And like he's talking about it from a PlayStation fan perspective of like how much of a bummer it is to feel like his PS5 is still new, but it's been sitting there for like 5 years.
I
Like,
kind of disagree with them a little bit.
go for it.
I feel like sure you could say like they're not on like a heavy like influx of distributing new games,
Hmm.
but I think this is one of them situations where you look at your neighbor and you're like, man, that grass looks nicer than mine.
Oh, like compared to other things, Xbox and stuff like that, right?
Well, it's just like if Xbox was having a slow output of games, I still feel like maybe we would be a little bit more. Maybe we'd still be a little flustered with the PlayStation's output, but we've never seen Xbox have this outflux of games,
Yeah.
right? So then when you see them, making a game, putting it out, making a game, putting it out, making a game, putting it out, partnering with somebody, putting it out, making a game, putting it out, and then you're like, PlayStation, do something, and it's just like one game this year, two games
Yeah.
this year. To be honest, that's not too far off of the cadence of PlayStation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, because they have. I mean, hell, we're getting Death Stranding too. We're getting Ghost of Yotei. See, and
But it's
you're kind.
getting drowned. It's getting
Yes,
drowned right now. And that's why it looks so much slower than it actually is, to be honest.
yeah, I totally see
Because
what you're
look at the
saying there.
end of the PS4 generation. I mean, it had some games that came out for sure, but it wasn't like 5 games in a year.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, okay, we got Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us just so happened to be in the same year. And what was Death Stranding that year too?
Death Stranding was 2019.
So that was the year
Yeah,
prior.
yeah.
So that, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying is like it's not like they had like a ton of their games and then the year prior of that. I think the thing is they just had like they had a really heavy second half of their console generation with PlayStation, especially with so many top tier titles. Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, which was
God of
completely
War. Yeah,
exclusive and not known about. God of War 2018, and then you had a great outcome with third party games as well. So it was just like kind of like, oh yeah, I'm PlayStation's doing their thing, and then Xbox, meanwhile, hadn't had anything coming out since 2016. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it just seemed like PlayStation was killing it because PlayStation of the two of those of those platform holders, there was only one that was outputting games. The other one was not doing anything.
yes,
Now the other one's flooded, and the other one still kind of has the same old cadence, and it's not that it's not good enough to customers, it's not good enough to PlayStation.
yeah.
And they have had failures in the midst of dropping these games. If Concord was a success, they would not be tripping out right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that, if you get a successful live service game, then you're cooling. You're making money.
Not just that, if Concord was a success, they wouldn't have been tripping. If Destiny and they didn't have to deal with that whole Bungie situation, they'd be fine. And then also, if uh if The Last of Us
Dang, get
didn't get
canceled.
canned, like it was just like
Yeah,
it's just bad news after bad news after bad news, and they still kind of have the same old cadence, but it's not good enough in this faster pace environment, and their money isn't amounting to what it was towards the end of last generation, where it felt like whenever they threw something out of their vehicle, people were jumping for it.
yeah. That's a fair way to look at it. I think like I mean I can only speak for me. Um, this this generation, I think everyone would agree this generation's been fucking weird, whether you're on Xbox or PlayStation. So I would say that for sure, but also the fact that like as someone who's a PlayStation fan in the sense of I get my PlayStation every generation. I mean, every generation, the last two generations since the PS3. I get my PlayStation to play the new Naughty Dog thing. I know what the new Naughty Dog thing is. I know that it exists. I've seen it. with my own eyes, it's real. But the fact that it's 5 years in, and we don't even know when that's coming. Like that might not come next year. That might not be till like 2027. Who knows? The fact that we're 5 years in and it's just like I haven't played that thing yet, the thing that pretty much makes a PlayStation console for me, is like I can watch this guy's video and be like, yeah, yeah, this feels like right now the generation isn't even happening for PlayStation. Because for me, it doesn't start until PlayStation until they get that game, and they haven't had that game yet.
Yeah,
Um,
Naughty Dog has had a, a goose egg this generation, unfortunately,
it's tragic.
and I mean, people can tell me all they want about remasters and how there's a new
Sure,
mode in the remaster or something like
sure.
that, but to me, it's just to me that's kind of a nothing burger. Like and to be honest, like to keep things fair, which I don't have to, but I want to. I feel the exact same way about the coalition.
Sure, with Reloaded. Yeah,
Well, they got they say E-Day is around is coming out at some point, and like I'm like that's exciting, right?
yeah,
And then they drop this news of what they got coming, and like I'm excited for it in the sense of it's being preserved good, right? Like I'm excited for that, like I would be to hear Resistance is getting preserved.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's like that's cool, but that kind of should go without saying. You just preserve your shit, right? You own it, you preserve it. If you want to make any kind of money off of it, you preserve it.
yeah.
So like it's like thumbs up, but like I'm
Mm.
not gonna pat you on the back for that. So like the Gears of War thing is like cool that it's coming and whatnot. But I want to, but like you guys are like, I haven't seen anything since I haven't seen anything from them that I actually got to put my hands on other than the Matrix demo. And it's like, come the fuck on.
Bro, I didn't even play the Matrix demo.
Yeah, Matrix. Yeah, yeah.
I heard it was really. I mean, as far as a demo goes, it's like a tech demo. But I heard people saying it was actually pretty awesome. I just never
It
played it.
was neat. That's the best way I could put it because I mean it's more or less like a visual feast.
Yeah,
Gameplay
yeah,
is kind of like the gameplay isn't much at all. Like other than going into like view the city mode and walking around the city and I guess driving around some random cars, like it's really not that great. It's just a tech demo. That's all it is, right? It's whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
it's cool, but like it, I'm looking forward to the coalition's game, and here we are talking about 2027 is going to possibly be like like coming towards a next generation, and coalition hasn't dropped anything.
yeah. Okay.
And what's crazy is like they've been given a serious pass because Naughty Dog's been getting slapped around for all but they also been like publicly getting things canceled. I've heard of something that may have been canceled
Coalition. Yeah,
from coalition, but it was never like official, right? It was just like
yeah,
it was like some sort of rumor out there. But like Naughty Dog literally brought to the stage, here is Last of Us factions, and then shit the bed.
yep,
So like they kind of put themselves out there to kind of be scrutinized much more than the coalition, but make no doubt about it, I kind of feel the same about both of the studios where it's like, man, you guys both are like the studio of your guys's publisher or platform, and you guys, neither one of you guys have done anything. Like, or I shouldn't say have done anything. Neither one of you guys have showcased or like have like a release date for something that we can look forward to.
Yeah.
Both Intergalactic and Gears E Day are both just like essentially just JPEGs right now, or I guess just like trailers. They're both just trailers.
Yeah, that's true.
Fable's been a trailer for a long time, so I mean, to me, a trailer doesn't mean anything.
That is true. Ray Cheese says Foam Stars was supposed to be $1 billion franchise. He says sarcasm, obviously.
Was that like supposed? Was it? I doubt that.
No, he's being sarcastic.
I know.
Uh,
I was just wondering, did they really have the did
I
they really
hope
think
not.
it was gonna do something like that?
I
Because
hope
that'd be
not.
crazy.
I really hope not. Because if they did, then somebody that if they did, then that might be why the dude from Square Enix got they canned him, brought in that new guy. That might be why. If he thought that was gonna kick off. Raichi says Obsidian will release 100 games before E-Day. They might. I mean, Obsidian's fucking crushing it at the moment. They kind of can't be stopped right now. Um, Raichi also says, "Can we all agree Starfield will do better on PlayStation than Intergalactic?" I probably might agree with that. I mean, well, here's yeah. What do you think has more broad appeal? Um, Naughty Dog or Bethesda?
Say it
I
again.
think he said Richie says, "Can we all agree Starfield will do better on PlayStation than Intergalactic?" And so I'm asking, what do you think has more broad
Ooh,
appeal, Naughty Dog or Bethesda? Because me personally, I love Naughty Dog, man, but I'd have to go Bethesda
I'd say
between those two.
Bethesda has more broad appeal, but I don't know if Starfield has more broad appeal
Yeah,
than Intergalactic. And it's not, and obviously I love Starfield, right? I played the crap out of that game. But like I feel like Bethesda is well known, but they're well known for like kind of their majestic kind of worlds of like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and stuff like that. Like people follow for that trend. They don't follow, I feel, as well on newer things from Bethesda and company, like anything from ZeniMax, right? Um, but Naughty Dog, I feel like you know they introduced Uncharted, and it was a big deal, and it was single player, and like I don't know, I feel like Intergalactic has to be pretty bad for it not to be on top of the PlayStation charts. Because to me, Naughty Dog finally coming out with their own IP to me should outshine Starfield. Now, if we were talking about a new Elder Scrolls, I could probably fold on that.
I yeah, 100%.
But but there's but there weren't but I just don't think that Intergalactic will be outshined by Starfield or could be outshined by Starfield, but I don't know. There's a lot more Bethesda fans on PlayStation than I'm giving credit, to be honest.
I think I think there's a lot more Bethesda fans than Naughty Dog fans on PlayStation. I think because
Yeah, but I don't know if those fans are looking for Starfield.
maybe not. They might not be, but I mean that's one of the things we won't know until it goes to PS5 if it does or when it does, whatever you want to say. But like I think I was watching oh shit, I forgot the point is, but I I think I was watching XB2, Xbox 2 last week where they were talking about I think the topic came up of like Starfield on PlayStation. Um and I think just off of the sheer volume, I forget who made the point. It was either Rand or Jazz, but one of them made the point of like just off of sheer volume, like of people on PlayStation, you have more fans of a given like you're gonna have more fans of Starfield on PlayStation than you will on Xbox, just off of sheer volume of players. I think, and especially considering the fact like the history of like Xbox versus PlayStation, like the 360 and the PS3 went toe to toe, and then everybody thought the PS4 and the Xbox One was going to do the same, and the Xbox One, like Don Matrick, just came out and just dumped everywhere, and all the people who were really hyped for the Xbox One were like, "Oh shit, well, I'll just go on PlayStation then, I guess." And then you lost all those people, but all those people still have nostalgia. Like those people, speaking of like Bethesda, the Oblivion remaster, those people still have nostalgia. Like the first time they played it was on an Xbox 360, and they see that the Oblivion remaster is back, and they're like, "Oh shit, I remember that game from the Xbox 360." You go out and buy it, and you're like, "This is fucking amazing." Like I think to a certain extent, Bethesda's name probably has some level of nostalgia. Now, is it going to be as successful with Starfield? I don't know. But I think it's also going to open up. I think it's also going to be interesting to see the conversation, the discussion that it opens up. Because remember when it came out on Xbox, like we talked about this in the Discord like a couple of nights ago. Like when it first came out, it was like unanimously loved. Starfield was like unanimously loved. And then Todd Howard was on like whatever news thing he was on and talking about Starfield, and like the guy was like, "What do you say to people who are saying that it's not running great on their computers?" And Todd Howard said some shit like, "I think it's time to upgrade your computer." And then as soon as he started saying that, or as soon as he said that, it started getting review bombed hard everywhere, and it hasn't really stopped since. So like it's going to be interesting when it goes to PlayStation to see, are we just going to rehash that, or are we going to have like an actual honest conversation about how good or bad Starfield is? Or is it just going to be this whole bullshit thing of like it's terrible and this is why you shouldn't like it and fuck Todd Howard and all that other shit? Like I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, we're gonna find out. Raichi says in the chat, remember that Sony wanted Starfield exclusive. That's a fact, and that's the whole reason that the ZeniMax deal happened. Because, I mean, I don't know if you remember. Remember those reports, Sam? Like this is way before we ever started talking. But remember those reports of like when Xbox bought ZeniMax? Like one of the main reasons they bought it was because PlayStation was pursuing exclusivity for Starfield. And Xbox like panicked and said, "Fuck no, we're not letting that happen." And they just and instead of buying exclusivity for Starfield, they're like, "We'll just buy the whole fucking publisher, dude." and
Yep.
and then so that's how it played out. But yeah, Raichi's right. There was a point in time where that was probably going to be exclusive to PlayStation, and that would have been wild to see. But I guess in the end, it all works out because Xbox got their exclusive, and then eventually PlayStation gets to play it as well. You know, assuming it does come to PlayStation, which I mean, come on. But like, I don't know. I personally think that versus Intergalactic, I think will sell. I think that will have more people excited than Intergalactic, and I could be wrong on that. I could totally be wrong on that, but I just think the Bethesda name plus the curiosity of like what this actually is for people who haven't played it, maybe haven't even seen it, will probably win out over Intergalactic. But I could be wrong. Only time will tell. Let me see what else we got
You
here.
know,
Well, before you move on,
Yeah,
one angle I wanted to. I don't really want to talk about it that much. We don't have to. We can if you want to, but
let's hear it.
I just wanted to bring it up. It's that there's this whole woke thing going on, right?
I think I know what you're getting at.
Where where it's like woke this game is too woke, it's not good enough, and yada
Hmm.
yada, and with the Last of Us TV show not being like let's be honest, it's not the most popular show right now.
No.
Like it's good. I enjoy it, but even me as an enjoyer has a few moments where I'm just like, this is a little weird. And if I'm saying it's a little weird, there's there's somebody that's overreacting. That's not me.
Yeah.
So if I find something I'm like, oh, that seems a little out of place, it ruins somebody's fucking month somewhere else. This is out of
Yeah.
place. Oh, I can't stand this. Oh, I'm gonna be back to watch next week's episode, but I can't take it. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of those kinds of people out there, and I feel like some of that crowd, whether it be a majority of it or a minority of it, are gonna be just waiting for anything to come out about Intergalactic, especially
Yeah.
since the person that is in Intergalactic was in the TV
In
show
the
The
TV
Last of Us.
show. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like hate following and hate watching it.
Sure.
And as soon as Intergalactic says anything, they're bombing it. And once the game releases, it's gonna be this is the most woke thing. Don't do it. It could be an awesome game, but it's gonna.
Sure.
I think this game has the opportunity to receive a more shit than The Last of Us Part Two. And to
I
me, it's strictly because of how bullish both sides are, because like it feels like Naughty Dog is like, you don't like that, well, we're gonna go even harder, and
yeah.
and then the people are like, well, yeah, I don't like that, and if you go harder, I got nothing but time, and it's just like never ending.
So I think here's the thing. I think you said it people might go harder on this game than Last of Us Part 2. I think they will. I think they absolutely will. Because here's the thing with
So
Last of Us
there's no
Part 2.
thinking about it for you. You think straight
No.
up they are
I think
done.
straight up that will be the case. And that's not even this like, dude, I'm fucking hyped for Intergalactic based off of that horrible fucking trailer, by the way. That trailer stunk. But I'm
Yeah,
still hyped.
trailer's tough.
I'm still hyped for the game because it's Naughty Dog. So like,
Well, it's Naughty Dog, and that actor is good. She's a good
yeah, she's
actor.
she's a good actor, good actor. Like nothing wrong with like whatever. But like,
I kind of
eh,
like her swag, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really into bald headed women, but like, I'm just saying, like that
listen,
jacket, her kicking it the way she was kicking it, like I was cool with that.
yeah, I thought her style. I think even her like the way she carries herself, even in the short time that she was in the show,
Right.
I thought she did great. So like, I mean, but like I said, I for me, it's like I think for sure it's gonna get more hate than Last of Us Part Two. The thing is though,
Why are you so certain of that, though?
because Last of Us Part Two is Last of Us. Last of Us, like I feel like there were people, whether like obviously a lot of people hated it, a lot of people hated it. There's a lot of hot discussion about Last of Us Part Two when it came out, but it was Last of Us. Like versus this, there's no ties to this character. Like I didn't see this character grow. I don't know this character. If I'm somebody who's one of those people who's like anti woke and all this BS online, if I'm one of those people, I'm looking at this like, why the fuck do I give a shit about this character? Versus like Ellie and Joel, it's like, ah, man, I don't like what you did with this, but it's Ellie and Joel. God damn it. Like with this, there's none of that. There's none of that. Like, you don't, I don't have nostalgia. We don't even know his character's name, or maybe we do. Maybe they said it. I just wasn't paying attention. But like, I don't have any nostalgia for this character. I don't know this character. This character could stink for all I know. So it's like I think it's going to be a lot easier for people to hate on something that they have absolutely no attachment to. But then again, you could also argue the flip side. It's a lot easier to hate something if you think it's gone sour after having attachment to it. So you could flip it on its head, and I could be wrong, but I just think it's going to be a much easier target for people to hate. Because there's no ties of like I really enjoyed this thing. So I don't know, but also I think like to your point of like the whole woke discussion, dude, like it happens with every game. It's and here's the thing: once it comes to Starfield, it'll probably once Starfield goes to PS5, it'll probably get rehashed again in Starfield, just because of
Yeah.
the you select your pronouns. Everybody's gonna be like, "What do you mean select my fucking pronouns?" It's like,
I'm a man. They
yeah,
should
I'm a
know.
fucking man. I don't select my fucking pro. It's like, dude, just pick he him. Move on, motherfucker. But like, it happens. It happens with every game to the point where like I think sometimes it can hurt a game. Like you know, like you say Dragon Age for example, probably hurt that game in the long run. The whole discussion about it and the fact that EA did nothing to like take people's thought process off of that discussion. They did absolutely nothing for that game in marketing, whatever, but
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
they really leaned into people being angry and was like, you know what, we're standing on business. And I'm just
It's like, dude,
like, like at some point, and I meant to talk about this on the podcast today, but Borderlands 2, dude, right?
yeah,
It's just like, dude, you can stand on business in your personal life, but you're at your place of employment, you know?
mm-hmm.
And the whole point the whole point is to cater to your audience.
Yeah,
So at worst, you should be trying to dodge saying stuff that would bring more problems to you than not. So like Dragon Age had plenty of criticisms about their stuff. And I'm not saying that they needed to like go into the game and change all that stuff and whatnot, but like there's always a better thing that you could say. And as for Pitchford yesterday, or like Randy Pitchford, it's just
oh yeah,
like, dude, you didn't even have to respond.
about the $80
Like,
game, right?
yeah, somebody was like, don't do
Yeah.
this. And then he was like, not my control, which sounds like BS, right? Because you're CEO.
Yes.
So it sounds like BS, but at the same time, even right then and there, you could have just stopped right
Yeah.
there. I have no control. Done. Message sent. But instead, he's like, A, I don't have control over that. B, I worked hard when I was young. You should work hard too.
What do you say if you're a real fan, you'll figure it out?
Yeah,
Which
man.
was
Like,
nuts.
which,
Uh,
like, no, no, it's like
he's not wrong, but
he's not wrong at all. But it's like it's so just I mean, when I was young, I was taught read the room.
yeah, Yeah.
And in a Twitter corner, that room, you should already have known what you were walking into. Like, this is one of the most toxic places on earth. You should say something that doesn't cause extra questions. You should just say something if you even choose to say something, because you really don't have to say anything at all. But if you do choose to say something, just say something like "not my control," or like "we're working on it" in the background. That could mean anything.
Yeah. I think even for, well, and actually, real quick, let me get this from Rachie. Rachie says, "Well, Nathan." Oh, okay, damn, Rachie. Rachie says, "Well, Nathan Drake is so sexy it made me question my sexuality, but Intergalactic made me straight again." Shout out to you, Rachie.
Jesus.
Um, I mean, shit.
Remember.
You do you, buddy. Uh, Richie also says real fans of the Borderlands 1 and 2 fans, but you massacred those fans and lost to Borderlands 3. You know, what I'm gonna ask you what you think about that, because I'm not this huge Borderlands fan. I'm not gonna pretend that I am. I enjoy the games for the gameplay. It's really cool. But you're like out of our friend group, you're the big Borderlands guy. So like what are your thoughts on that specific comment?
Yeah, Borderlands 3. To me, the story was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like what they did with it. They did a horrible job trying to replace Handsome Jack with two dummies. Um,
Oh yeah, the two chicks.
and was the chick? I mean, yeah, it was two chicks that were like the worst in the game. Or actually, no, I take that back. Like the main evil chick, I liked her, but I just felt like she evolved. Her evolution was garbage.
Yeah.
But I definitely liked who she was as an enemy, and I didn't mind her brother too much. But it's just like as the story unfolded, it's like somebody gave up on their story and made it super duper simple and kind of lame.
Gotcha.
So like it's like the initial idea that they had was good with the with the antagonist, but it just kind of fell apart as the story grew older. And
Okay.
it also didn't give you that feeling of, man, I miss those antagonists. They were badass. Like, it didn't feel like that at all. Like Handsome Jack did when you went through and took care of that. Like, it felt like, oh man, this dude is insane and whatnot. And then after you beat him, you're like, oh man, I wouldn't mind trying that again. Um,
Yeah.
but there was that. There was, that stupid little girl that you save, and and my favorite character of the entire series died. So I was devastated. Like Borderlands 3 was the worst of them all for me. I mean, outside of Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I think that was like the worst sit down Borderlands like regular game that I've ever played was Tiny Tina's Wonderland. But as for like story that of the main series, I thought 3 was the worst. And then as you were kind of alluding to, and Rachie was talking about like just like what they did to fans and whatnot,
Yeah.
there was a really big thing around 2020, around the console launch time, right? It was a little bit before that, possibly even, that Borderlands was doing updates. Like they were doing DLC and stuff like that. And they really went heavy handed with homosexuality and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a lot of people, as you would expect,
Sure. Yeah.
uncomfortable or pissed or not my game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they took kind of a gamble on that, and and I'm not sure if it paid off. And it
Sure.
and I was I kind of understood where people were coming from because it's like this never really mattered. The and
Yeah.
now like love was never a thing really in Borderlands, right? So once you introduce love, it's like ultra gay. Like not like a little bit of, it's not like Horizon where they tried to like kind of classy it up,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, this person meets this person and, they work together and, they get together and whatnot. It's just like straight up like they gotta let you know in that game that like these two guys are with each other and they really love each other. And it's just like I could see where some fans that never really came to Borderlands for any kind of love story or anything. It was just all about explosives, crazy guns, big damage, big builds, and stuff like that. And then and wild and over the top stories. And then for it to turn into a little bit of a love song there, and you're kind of like saving somebody's love. It's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't really for me. It didn't offend me. It just wasn't interesting to me, right? So I actually have that DLC, but I just never finished it. Or actually, no, I think I might have finished it, but like I didn't finish it for the story or to get knowledge about that. I think I was trying to collect a certain gun. Like I think I was farming.
Yeah. I got you.
Because the DLC came with like new guns, new legendaries, and stuff like that. So I was like farming the guns. Like I said, I'm not. I don't really let that kind of stuff bother me too much. But
Sure.
like, if you're a person that's really into story, or a person that's just used to a game being some way, and then they change it, and the changes don't really seem to make a whole lot of sense from the past. I'm not saying people should be hateful, but I feel like they have the right to be upset.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna change a game in that way, the change has to make sense. It can't just be. It can't just be like change for the sake of change, especially when it comes to something like that. Because like I know you talked about it a little bit, and I've even agreed with you, like how Dragon Age Veilguard. Like I love the story in Dragon Age Veilguard, but there's certain things with a certain character that everybody at this point knows about and everybody's talked about, where it's like, yeah, you probably could have done that. Like I see what you're doing, but you probably could have done that a little bit better if we're being real. Like
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
think
No,
like
you're talking about old girl.
about Tosh, yeah. We're like
Yeah,
we're
it
like
just felt lazy. It just felt
yeah, it's like
lazy.
it's cool that you want to do that, but if you're going to do that, you should probably put like actual like sit down and have like actual brainstorming and thought about how you're going to do that because and it's wildly different in Dragon Age to Borderlands because in Dragon Age they've done that shit before. Like there's been gay shit in Borderlands. There's been trans people. Like that's been a
You're
thing
talking
before.
about Dragon Age.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's wildly different to Borderlands in that aspect because it's been a part of Dragon Age. It's been a part of everything that BioWare's ever done. It's just I think if you compare that story to pick a pick a gay story from Mass Effect or Dragon Age 1 and 2. I don't know about Inquisition cuz I haven't played Inquisition, but like you hear the stories of people who play these games like what's Cozy who's on Bullset and says like every chance she gets whenever we mention Mass Effect, she's like you got to play the oh fuck, what's the romance? Um I forget the dude's name in Mass Effect 2. But
Thane.
the yeah, you got to play the Thane romance. She always says that. You got to play the Thane romance. It's like, dude, I'm playing as a guy. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Do a gay Thane romance because it's the best romance. Like it's been a part of BioWare. forever. But like, it's just, if you're gonna do something like that, especially nowadays, it's got to be, you got to put a lot of thought into it, because off rip, here's the thing, off rip, people are gonna hate it, whether that's a lot of people or a few people. There's gonna be a hateful group of people that just hate it because it is what it is. But if you also do it poorly, then you're going to have people who are even a part of that group who are like, yo, this stunk. This did not do us any favors. So it's
Yeah,
like,
then it gets validated, right?
exactly. So it's one of those things, I think now more than ever, if as a studio or as a storyteller, if you're trying to do that, you gotta be on top of your shit, because it's gonna be really easy for you to fuck up, and now the hate is justified, and that's exactly what you don't want. That is exactly what you don't want. But I mean, I don't know. That's just how I felt about Dragon Age Velvet. Richie says the guy is simply arrogant because right now he has to get goodwill back. Wait, are we talking? I think he's talking about Randy Pitchford.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he has been talking about Randy Pitchford.
Yeah, he's definitely an arrogant guy. He's definitely very arrogant. You can't really argue that. Um,
I
let me
think that's kind
see.
of his style, though. He's always been pretty forward, but I feel like no matter what your, no matter how many followers and people that love you or whatnot, there's still like you always. Locust said this many times, and I heavily agree with him. Like words matter, they do,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't
Yes.
matter who you are. You can be a bum on the street yelling at somebody and ruin their day, or you could be the fucking president of the United States and just let something slip out of your mouth and
Yeah.
ruin millions of people's day. Like words matter. So like if you're trying to sell something, and this is the part that just baffles me. Like the game is about to be out for pre-order. You just had this awesome show from PlayStation. Like there may be a little bit of sadness with GTA being pushed and whatnot, but you're kind of like there to like help mitigate that issue, right? And
Yep.
you come out there and say something out of arrogance. It just like
Yeah.
if you haven't been looking around, like I said so many times already, read the room, dude. You've looked around and seen some great development teams get get shaken down to the point that they're on their knees begging,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out how the heck to get their game out, get it popular and whatnot. All these old remaster games and cheaper new games are coming out and they're beating the brakes off of the industry right now. Two Gotti nominee, two potentially Gotti nominee games right now are $50.
50
Split Fiction
bucks.
and Expedition 33, $50. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 is about to be $50. And Oblivion, one of the most sold game in the United States, is $50. And you're gonna come up onto Twitter, a public space worldwide, and tell everybody that you had to work hard back in the day for an $80 game. So do they, while they have
Yeah.
all these other options.
Yep.
It's just so uh, it's embarrassing kind of like this. Those are the moments where I'm like, how did this motherfucker get famous? Like I have those kind of moments sometimes where I'm just like, I see somebody say something or do something so like obviously dumb, but they're just rich, made in the shade, and they just do it. And I'm not sure if it's because of arrogance or if it's just because they just don't know how to relate to a normal person.
I feel like, well, definitely in Randy Pitchford's case, he's always been arrogant, so I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of both. I think the fact that he's famous doesn't help the fact that he probably doesn't he doesn't relate to what like me or you or anybody is going through, like an average person. That dude's fucking mega famous. He doesn't get that. So like mm, I mean, I think to get to your point, you got to read the room. Now's not the time. There's so many things like fuck the $50 games because there's a bunch of that. There's a bunch of $50 games like that have the fucking industry in a chokehold this past couple months. But like, there's also just so many different ways, dude. More than ever, the sentiment I see online, like, is wait for sale. More than ever, I see that is wait for a sale. More than ever, I see the sentiment that I'm not going to pay whatever it was 70 now going to be $80 soon. I'm not going to pay $80 to be a beta tester for something. More than ever, I'm seeing that sentiment.
And that I feel like that's one of the main big issues is like you're raising costs in an environment in which there is no promise said product that you pay for is gonna is gonna perform at that at the price that it's being sold at, right?
Yeah.
So like for instance, um if you were to have bought like I went and bought um I've used this game as an example a few times. I forgot what's that Dead Space like game. I'm forgetting the name of
Oh,
it.
Callisto
Yeah,
Protocol.
I've got Callisto Protocol on the launch.
Yeah.
I believe it was like an hour before the game came out. I was like, I'm pre-ordering this. I'm getting this, and I was excited to play it. And it was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
But I tell you that there was issues in how that game played in its
Mm-hmm.
natural state. There was some bugs within the game that you had to deal with that was kind of frustrating. And then like I paid $70 for it, I beat it.
Yep.
Like a month or two later, the game's like half the price
Yep.
of what it was, and they did an update to where you swap your weapons
Way
and
quicker.
heal much faster. So the game improved
Mm-hmm.
while slashing the price in half. So
Yep.
me as a customer felt ripped off. Like
Understandably so.
why did I pay day one for the unfinished product when someone else pays a couple months later for a complete good and smooth experience for half the price? Like in just basic fundamentals and common sense screams that my choice of getting it day one was extremely dumb.
Yeah. That's
And it
what.
makes me as
Yeah.
a customer feel stupid. So then when the next thing comes around, I'm like, I'm then saying what you just got done saying. I should wait for a sell. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see if it gets on the Game Pass and whatnot. People trip out about hearing people say, Xbox players don't buy their games. They wait to see if it comes to Game Pass. Well, that right there is one of the reasons. Nobody wants
Yep.
to buy something busted. Nobody
Yep.
wants to get Spider-Man 2 and run around as tofu for
Yeah.
$70.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like and to me, this is the only industry that constantly gets away with that. where they come out with a broken product. They expect everybody to pay this premium price. Sometimes will raise their price, and then if you're not if you're not suffering from FOMO, you will get the best deal in just a few months.
Yeah. Dude,
In
forget
just
us.
a few months, you'll get a killer deal. You'll be able to get two games that you wanted for the price of one.
Yes. Dude, forget forget half off. I remember, I think it was, could be wrong on this, but I think it was in the first year of Callisto Protocol's release that I grabbed that for free on Epic Games.
I think you're right.
So, like, imagine me, I'm same position as you. Imagine me
Yeah, because you paid for it
$70.
on Xbox. I bought it on PlayStation.
Yeah. Imagine me $70 for a pretty decent experience, which is like,
Yeah, not even great. It's decent.
yeah, yeah, it was decent. I thought, like, dude, when that game was like showing off what it was, like all the trailers, and they had like some deep dives on it, and you saw PlayStation was involved and they were funding it, and they had all this access to motion capture that PlayStation uses for their games. I was like, oh shit, okay, this is gonna be great. And I
Yeah,
play
right.
it, and I'm like, this was good. This was fine. And under no circumstance did I ever think that between Dead Space Remake and Callisto Protocol, Dead Space Remake would by far be the better game. Under no circumstance did I expect that to be the case.
Yeah, you thought Callisto was gonna be a heavy rival. Like look out, EA. Here
Yes.
comes Callisto. Here comes the guy that made Dead Space.
Yes.
You guys can take a seat now and stop remaking Dead Space. Nobody cares about that anymore.
Yep. And I thought it was an easy fucking home run, easy home run. But lo and behold, it came out the way it came out. It was fine, whatever. But then you said a month or 2 months later, it's half off. Within the year, it's free on Epic. It's like, yeah, I
It's
can't,
happened to
I can't be mad at somebody for saying I'm just gonna wait for a sale because it makes sense. Because
It felt
fuck a
like
sale,
Destiny 2, bro. It felt like Destiny
bro.
2, bro.
Destiny 2 was the worst because Destiny
Yeah,
2, I got the
it was
ultimate.
way worse than
I
Callisto. Destiny 2 was, yeah.
I got the ultimate edition of Destiny, whatever they called it, the premium, whatever the hell they called it. It's like $100. Might have been 110. I can't remember, but I got it because I love Destiny 1 so much. And within, what was it, 2 years? No, it was a little longer than that because it went free to play like 2019 or 2020. It was right around the time that the new consoles came out. It went free to play.
But it was like
And
five
then,
bucks.
yeah, and it was constantly on sale before that. So it goes on sale, it then goes free to play, which means that I look like a dunce for spending the $60 on it, the base $60, let alone I look like an even bigger fucking dumbass because the content that I spent the extra $40-$50 for is inaccessible. They've gotten rid of all of it. Well, according to in their words, they didn't get rid of it. It's just vaulted. It's still there. You just can't play it. Whatever the hell that means. That's getting rid of it as far as I'm concerned. But whatever. It's like, dude, yeah, that gets me hot. That gets me kind of hot because it's like, dude, I was so hyped for Destiny 2, and I played a fucking lot of it when it came out, like a really gross amount of it when it came out. But like, I just made the mistake of missing like one DLC, and then that became I missed two DLCs, and then when I went back to go play the one DLC, it was like, it's vaulted, you can't play it anymore. I'm like, well, fuck me then, I guess. I guess I just can't play it. Ty says, shout out to EA Motive for making Dead Space Remake the studio Jade Raymond created. Yeah, shout out to them because that Dead Space remake really did slap. That
It
really does
did.
slap.
It was really good, and it was sad to see how it underperformed.
It was. I was pretty devastated once we learned how bad how well it did not do. Because dude, I thought for sure like as good as that was, it's an easy guarantee they're going to be doing Dead Space 2. Well, that's probably not going to happen given how the Dead Space 1 underperformed unfortunately. So it, it just stinks. It just stinks. Um Raichi says I'll get Avowed on Epic. I mean, sure, go for it. Like another cool thing, I guess this kind of ties into our first topic, which a throwback, but like another cool thing was with Xbox now is it seems like a lot of their stuff is going to be going to um BattleNet. So like if I buy it on Xbox, I have access on like if I bought Avowed on Xbox, I have access to it on Xbox consoles, Xbox app on PC, and then also BattleNet on PC. So I mean that's a whole other thing, which means technically I could be mistaken here, but like say if you're somebody like Ham, you got the Steam Deck, I've got a Steam Deck, you can buy the game on Xbox and then download it from BattleNet because you can get BattleNet on your Steam Deck relatively easily versus having to go through the Xbox app and having to download Windows and all that stuff. You don't got to do all that. But that's cool to see. Um let's see here. Oh, yeah, this little bit of news. Did you see that they added Xbox and Antstream Arcade have launched a new retro classics service on Game Pass? This I have not played anything in this. I mean, I haven't checked it out at all yet. But it is I guess it just launched today. But it says Retro Classics is a collaboration between Xbox and Antstream Arcade, a streaming service. Oh, so Antstream has more than like 1,300 retro games to play. Um,
Yeah.
but like on Xbox, I think they start out it's like 60 games right now, so it's a small library, but they plan on growing it. But have you gotten a chance? Like I said, I haven't played any of it. Have you gotten a chance to take a look at any of this stuff yet?
I have not, no.
Okay, because I see like I'm looking at this. I know there's Pitfall in there, which is a big one. I'm looking at this like list that they have here, or this. Let's see. Uh, Commando. There's a lot of Atari 2600 on here. In fact, it's almost exclusively Atari 2600. There's like some PC DOS stuff, but it's mostly Atari 2600 stuff, which isn't a bad thing. Pitfall, Pitfall 2. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to see if I recognize any of these names because I definitely did not have an Atari 2600. Do you have an Atari 2600, Ham?
No,
Okay. How much? I mean, random
they're
question.
not
You might not know the answer. How much are those going for?
like $100.
Oh, okay. Not horrible then. But
Well,
yeah,
you
I
can,
mean,
and it depends on if you find like an actual one because there is a bunch of knockoff ones.
oh, gotcha.
But if you get like
Uh,
the original one, it's not that expensive.
yeah. But I guess the cool thing about this that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that not only did they just bring these games, which is like, that's cool enough, but they also added like achievements for the games. They're running challenges and stuff for like specific games. So like you
Yeah, I
you can
see
see
one
what
right here
challenge.
for one. I see
What's
right here
that?
one for one. I see one here for 129. Another one for 109 bucks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I actually might try that out. Like, is it like it gets you rewards points or something, or is it just like challenges like, you'll get some achievements or something like that?
I don't know.
Gotcha. I'm gonna have to look into it more, but yeah, Rachie says there will be scoreboard and competition online for Antstream. Uh, Ty says, when
There you
is
go.
Xbox gonna bring out Game Pass Mobile, something to compete with Apple Arcade and Netflix games? These arcade games should all be
We
on
talked
mobile
about that a little bit
phones.
earlier.
Yes, we were talking about that on Ham Show earlier today. I think
They're in the middle of a
listen,
battle with Apple right now. With that, they're using Epic to help continue their battle versus Apple.
yes, they're really rooting for Epic right now. Epic is fighting Apple right now, and they are really on Epic's side. And as pretty much any company
They
besides
should.
Apple should be, you know, because
They
Apple's
should be, man. Apple can go to you. You feel about Apple the way Loke feels about Nintendo. I swear.
dude, Apple stinks. I don't get here's what I don't understand about Apple. Like if people like the phone, whatever, it's cool. You have your own preference. I just don't understand how it's become so unanimous, like so much more unanimously popular than Android when it is literally inferior in every way possible. But like nobody cares, and from what I can gather, it's just because of marketing. They market the fuck out of it, so like nobody gives a shit. Like every time they do an Apple event where they announce like the iPhone 75 trillion or whatever, it's like a massive thing. It's trending for days on like Twitter. I don't understand. I just don't know how they get away with it. I really don't. It's impressive, honestly, because everything they release is technically inferior by a couple of years to the competition, and just nobody cares. But whatever, is what it is. Rachie says, "I want Gears and Forza Mobile. Stupid Microsoft is leaving over $1 billion on the table to dry like shit." I mean, those. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. It's kind of nuts to me. What's crazy to me more than Gears or Forza? Oh, well, you said Forza. I was gonna say, what's crazy to me more than Gears is that Forza Mobile isn't a thing. Forza Mobile seems like it would be a fucking easy slam dunk, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe like that is again. They talked really heavily about mobile when they were getting ABK. I would imagine they didn't just pivot from mobile for no reason. I would imagine this is all still part of their plan. It's probably
I
just
think
with
the
thing
Apple thing is really screwing things up because that's like half of the phone
exactly.
market.
Exactly, dude. Like Apple's got a lot of the market right
And
now, and
Apple's
if Apple
fighting for that because they know that if they allow Microsoft in that space, they could eat it up.
exactly, and that's exactly what Apple doesn't want to happen. So I think once this whole situation with Apple gets resolved, you'll probably start getting some stuff like that. I know they did Gears, didn't they do like Gears Pop or something, whatever on the phone? Like you'll see stuff like that more and more on the phone whenever Apple knows how to act right. That's when you'll see more of that
Yeah,
stuff
good
on the
luck.
phone. Yeah, right.
They,
But
they need a fucking fat prescription of that.
they need a big dose of act right.
They do.
Uh,
They need to get someone needs to go like I wish they were a person just for a day so we could beat them up.
just give them the back of my hand. Just tell them to start acting right. You're
Yeah.
embarrassing me. Better start acting right. Um, but yeah, I mean that's really all I've got for the news this week. I mean, I guess we could talk
I
about
have a couple things.
go for it.
I have a couple things, and like one of them we got to talk about just a moment ago, um, and that I didn't get to bring up on the podcast, which was like Randy Pitchford, right?
Yeah,
But I want you to go to your Twitter and go
sure.
into your messages. Look at not the latest thing, but the thing before that, and then we can talk about the latest thing that I sent you.
Twitter messages. In a world torn apart by forces of nature, you must scavenge crafts. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen for you guys. Gotta love OBS. Got to love OBS. Let me see. Here we go. Throw this up right here. Oh, of course, it's going to be all out of whack. Actually, you know what? Let me full screen it, and then I'll do this.
There you go.
All right, let's play this real quick.
I don't know if there's audio, but we can't hear it, or no, I just can't hear it. There might
Oh,
be audio.
oh, no, there's not. 1 second. Let me go ahead and fix that. Uh, where's it at? Desktop audio. Fill that up. I don't know why it keeps pausing. You should be able to hear it now, though. I don't know why it keeps pausing.
Yeah,
Exoborn.
I can't hear anything, but it's fine.
All right. Well,
It's
so
fine.
I
Just let it play
it's
in the background.
sure. Thing is, it just keeps pausing for some reason. Oh, I know why. It's because I had the messages open on the side right there. All right. But yeah, this is Exoborn. Looks like is what it's called,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what this really is. It looks really nice. It looks interesting. Got weather there. Shout
right.
out to Battlefield. Battlefield
Uh,
2042.
what's the game called again?
Let's see. Exoborn. Is it called Be a Force Nature, or is that just the tagline? I think it's just called
Okay,
Exoborn.
it says Exoborn. Okay, it says
Yeah.
right here. I'll read what it is. It says Exoborn is an open world tactical extraction shooter game set
Yeah.
in a post apocalyptic America ravaged by extreme weather and warning factors. Players must scavenge, craft, and fight to survive in Colton County, a remnant of a small town, of a small town America. The game is characterized by its impressive weather system, which can alter the course of a round, and its customizable exo rigs, which grant players unique abilities.
Yeah. I
So,
probably
dang, I was hoping this was like maybe a single player game.
no. I had a feeling it was multiplayer. I probably should have guessed that it was an extraction shooter when I saw that they were dropping in and then being picked up to go out. I probably should have put that together.
I'm
But
not completely against it. I just like, to
sure,
me, I'm having a hard time finding a game better than Helldivers. That's an extraction shooter.
Helldivers is pretty damn good.
I
Helldivers is pretty damn good.
It's hard for me to get into an extraction shooter. So if I do get into it, it has to be fun, and I would honestly like to work with a team other than go against a bunch of different teams and risk cheating and all this other stuff. To me, it just doesn't even sound interesting.
My only problem with extraction shooters is literally what you just said. Like, PvP is cool for the people who care and love that stuff. I don't love PvP in a game like this. I like PvP in Halo. I like PvP in Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yep. Call
Yeah,
of Duty,
like,
Halo,
but
Gears, maybe even, you know.
sure. But like this, I want PvE. Like it's the same. I feel the same way when I look at. I mean, I know Marathon's in a lot of hot shit right now, but even before all this hot shit that they're in, when I look at Marathon, I'm like, that would be kind of interesting if I could play it with my friends versus like a computer, as opposed to like now I got to get into a lobby with my friends and we got to sweat our ass off against people who live and breathe this game. It's like that's just not fun to me. And I don't know if that's what this is going to be. Maybe this does have a PvE thing, and if it does, then That's awesome. That's really cool. Maybe I might try it, especially if they do what I think they might, or what at least I hope they might, which is make it free to play. Like if this is free to play, even if it's PvP, I'll give it a shot for a round, see if I like it. I'll give it a shot. But like if they have PvE, dude, I would play an extraction shooter if it had PvE. 100%. 100%.
My my biggest problem with a lot of extraction shooter games is it's like a lot of the tutorial pieces of them are really not fun, and I want to be kind of good before I go versus a bunch of other people. I want an
Yeah.
opportunity to practice, understand the controls, understand what to use in what situation, what my items are, and stuff like that. And I've never really had that in, like, to be honest, um, outside of just extraction games, just in general in a lot of PvP games. Like a lot of PvP games really want to thrust. They give you a kind of a quick button tutorial, and then they're like, get in there and just play, and maybe if we have skill-based matchmaking, we'll make it reasonable for you at the beginning. But a lot of it's still like half the time I get into those battles and first start playing the game, I notice that I'm not using half of the controls because I'm not used to anything. I don't know how to play versus some of these people that have been playing forever, and
Yes.
I don't know, I just can't really get used to it. As to where I could play like Halo or something like that, go through that whole campaign. I know everything that Chief can do. So then when I go into PvP, it's just like I'm playing a regular.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm playing just a campaign almost. Except the people can kill me a lot quicker.
And yes, 100%. And that's the problem. I feel, I mean, I know
Destiny
I
did well on
haven't.
that too.
What's that?
I said Destiny did pretty good on that too.
Yes, Destiny had a whole story. And like, dude, the amount of time I put into Destiny before I even tried PvP. Like,
Titanfall was gangster.
Titanfall was great. And the cool thing about Titanfall, and it's one of those rare cases, specifically with Titanfall 1, it's one of those rare cases where, like, I, like, they had it so that you were playing with people against people, but also it's like PvPvE, which
There was a
was
lot of PvE too, so you could really
yes,
get used to your shit. A lot of
yes,
PvE.
yes. And then in the second one, they even added the campaign, which is insane because they were like, you heard all the stories about how like, oh, we just got to add a campaign just so that people shut up and quit bothering us about it. Turns out it's one of the greatest FPS campaigns fucking ever. So that's insane. But like, Titanfall did it really well. You mentioned Destiny. Destiny does it really well, and that's the problem I also have with a lot of PvP games, not just extraction shoot, but just PvP in general, is the fact that like, especially a game that doesn't have a campaign. Like so many multiplayer games come out now that are just the multiplayer game with no sort of campaign attached to it. I can't get used to the controls. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And here's the thing, if there's a multiplayer game that is worth playing right now, then people are playing it. People have been playing it, and people are obscenely fucking good at it. Like if I just got an itch and said, you know what, I want to try an extraction shooter. Let me hop into Escape from Tarkov. I would get fucking curb stomped so quick.
Oh yeah,
I I I, I wouldn't even know
you
what to,
kind of get ran out of a game like that a little bit. Like if you're not determined to be good at the game, you almost get ran out of it.
yes, and that's like the problem. Same dude, same with Gears, and that's why I'm excited for the Gears multiplayer with the Reloaded thing because if you're just somebody who gets an itch for Gears multiplayer randomly right now, and you boot up Gears 5 multiplayer, you're gonna get fucking washed, dude. Because it's a bunch of athletes playing it. You're gonna get cooked. So like you almost need to be there from the beginning and constantly playing it in order to be able to have fun with it. which is like, which is why I look at some of these multiplayer games. I'm looking at this and I'm hoping, God, please have a PVE, because that's a way to keep engagement high, even among players who might not be into PvP. I'd be down for this if it was PvE so quick, I, without question. Blind, appreciate you for stopping by. Blind Giant in the chat. Says great campaign talking about Titanfall 2. How's it going, everyone? It's going pretty good, buddy. Hope everything's well on your end. Uh, oh, Rachel's getting out of here. Rachel says good night, good people of YouTube. Appreciate you for stopping by. But yeah, man, that's a problem. I think a lot of games kind of need to figure it out, and it's kind of shitty to be like, yo, just build a full fucking campaign, because a lot of these devs are small. They can't afford to just put a ton of time and production into a campaign. But it's like, dude, if you had it, dude, I'd be playing it. I'd be playing it. I'd be playing it, and then I'd be more encouraged to play the multiplayer because I feel like I know what I'm doing. But I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see more of this. Let me go to the end of this. It doesn't have a date, does it? Just says wish list now. Okay. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. I'm actually gonna go to Steam and wishlist it and see if there's any info on it on Steam. And I'm gonna keep my eye on this game. Because like I said, if we can get a PVE in there, then I'll be very, very happy. Um, but yeah, I mean, was there anything else you want to talk about? I think you said there was one more thing you want to talk about.
Yeah, just the last thing I sent you on your message.
Let's see. Oh, J Bar is Strife. He says every fucking gen, PlayStation has shut down a rewards program. Pure craziness. Let me see one of you bronze level 112 play no games PlayStation dickheads defend them closing PS stars. I'm not trying to see all bullshit today. Disgusting behavior from PlayStation. Yeah, shit. I mean, how do you feel about that? Because I know how I feel about that.
I'm not gonna sit here and beat PlayStation over the head about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the to me, it's just like this is a greedy move, in my opinion. You introduce that for the players so they can get rewards from being a frequent user of their platform. And you just told them, I'm wondering how many people had a bunch of points and what's happening with that.
That's a good
But
question.
but like that was like a I'm not going to describe it. What that kind of tells me a little bit is they need every dollar they can get, so they don't want to give away not a cent.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I agree with
And
like
that's a
that.
little weird.
I 1,000% agree with that too. It's strange. It doesn't make sense because it wasn't that long ago that they started this. What was it? 2 years ago? They
Yeah, I
started this
want to say it
PlayStation
was like
Stars.
the end of 2022.
Yeah, so like it's not that long ago that they started this, and this was a big initiative for them. So what changed? I would love to know what changed in the last 2 years where you're like, yeah, we can't even offer rewards on our console. And Fuzzy Tomato in chat says I don't think it was as widely used as Xbox rewards, and it probably wasn't. Because here's the thing: if you're on Xbox, not again, I guess you can't say every person on Xbox, but most people on Xbox that I know, even my brother, who's not like a huge, massive gamer, they use Xbox rewards. Like most people I know use Xbox rewards in some way, shape, or form. Like I know I use the fuck out of it, dude. But like, I don't. It's just it's baffling to me that you would introduce this and in the same generation be like, yes, psych, never mind. didn't even wait till the end of this generation to be like, yo, we're gonna just silently shut it down and just float into the next console. They said in the middle of this generation, nope, can't do it. What? I I don't understand it. I don't get the thinking or the thought process behind that, honestly. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
What
It said it came out July of 2022.
July of 2022. Yeah. So little so
Over 2 years.
2023. Yeah, over 2 years. So it's not that long. Blind Giant just says I just redeemed a $10 gift card from Xbox. Same. I redeemed not $10. I think I redeemed like a $5 rewards thing. On Xbox. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten Game Pass Ultimate with that before. I remember at the beginning of the generation when I actually had a decent amount of rewards. I got like I forget what I get. I got like a decent amount of money off of Xbox rewards. Oh crap. Oh damn. Switched up the whole fucking layout for a second. That was my fault. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of money off of Xbox rewards at the beginning of the generation. And I know a lot of people do. Dude, people do that to buy consoles. People use that shit to buy consoles. So it's definitely in use. And it's kind of lame to see PlayStation get rid of theirs because it's like I mean, I don't know. I think PlayStation could use some goodwill amongst its customers. Amongst its existing user base, I think PlayStation could use some goodwill. And that's
See,
an
that's
easy
the.
way to
I don't
get
agree.
goodwill. Oh, well, let's hear it.
I think PlayStation thinks they have the goodwill right now. That's
Hmm.
why they did
Well,
this. If they thought they needed goodwill, they wouldn't have took it away.
that's
But
I
I
see what
don't
you're
think they
saying.
think they. I don't think they think they need goodwill.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with that. I don't think that they think they do. I'm just saying I like I guess I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for just some random guy on PlayStation. But like for me, they could use a win. Like I'm an existing customer of PlayStation. I have nothing to be excited about on my PlayStation. Like I have no reason to boot up my PlayStation. And even with this in place, I still wasn't really playing PlayStation, but at least I would have had some sort of reason like, "Oh, I can boot up my PlayStation, play this game and get rewards. Earn some trophies, I'll get some rewards or whatever." And now you're taking that away for what reason? I mean, I don't know. I just don't see the point. Cozy in the chat says, "Why not give them less?" I guess that's a fact. As long as they can give them less, as long as a corporation can give you less, they'll find a way to give you less. So, I guess that's just kind of what this is. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, but I think that brings us to the end of the episode. Probably the longest episode we've had here, at least in a while. Almost two
Yeah, it's been
hours.
a while.
But yeah, I mean, let them know what you're up to, where they can find you. I think you said you're not doing anything on the channel tomorrow, but we will be doing bull sitting on Friday, so let them know what's going on.
Yeah, bull sitting on Friday and just packing up, getting ready to move. So not a whole lot, but that's about it.
All right. As for myself, obviously, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Two Player Podcast with myself and him solo here. Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the L3R3 podcast. Myself, our days Mike, and it's me, Twan. And then videos every week here on the channel. Oh, I'm going to be working to have something out this weekend. I want to get a Doom The Dark Ages review out because I fucking love that game and I want to talk about it. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Also, find me on Ham's channel, Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern for bullsetting. Find me on Blue Sky, Matt Likes Games, and that's it. But we're going to get up out of here. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.